Well, that gives Mario one more shot.
Yep. With just 12 laps, 8 laps now, actually, left in the race. The yellow flag is out. We are going to get a green flag with 3 laps to go after the yellow came out because of the crash of Bill Whittington's car. Whittington walking away from that crash, apparently all right. But we're going to have a dash to the finish. The 2 red cars are the ones to watch. Because of closing up under the yellow, the lead of Danny Sullivan over Mario Andretti is only 1.5 seconds. And 3 laps for Mario to make it up. The crowd urging them both on. Mario, 16 years after winning his only Indianapolis 500, was the favorite here today. At age 45, it could be his last chance. And he's got 3 laps to try to get by 2 cars and catch Danny Sullivan of Louisville, Kentucky. The green out. And here they come.
Well, Jim, in that yellow, neither Sullivan nor Andretti pitted. So Andretti's car, they have not been able to change it in any way at all. Sullivan was able marginally to outrun him before. Andretti has already moved by one of the 2 guys he had to pass. He moved by Kevin Cogan, incidentally, his nemesis, the man who put him out of the race at the start several years ago. And now he's freezing by Howdy Holmes. Neither of those men wanted to get in the way of Mario Andretti.
Behind him, Al Unser Sr., who's a lap down and who will be right in this dash had he not been penalized a lap earlier in the race for running over his own air hose in the pit.
That is true.
Danny Sullivan seems to have that same lead. But how careful he has to be on these last couple of laps.
And once again, what do you think? Penske's cars are, with just a couple of laps to go, now 2 laps to go, running first and third, just as they did at this point last year, Jim, in a race which, of course, was run by Rick Mears. This year, it may be Danny Sullivan.
But he has now lengthened that lead to 2.4 seconds. The next time around, he will get the white flag, indicating 1 lap to go for the leader, just 1 to the checkered flag. Looking around inside the car, it appeared there.
Yeah, Sullivan has worked as a janitor, a cab driver in New York, a hand on a chicken farm, a waiter, a lumberjack, a sod cutter, but I don't think he's ever worked at a job quite like this, the winning of the Indianapolis 500.
Here comes the white flag, 1 lap to go for the 35-year-old who, the point you make so well, Sam, he is known as the swinging bachelor of the circuit, but he has paid his dues. All the menial jobs he had with 13 years of racing behind him.
Yes, he has, but for all of the things that I hope and wish for Danny Sullivan, and I'm one of his greatest fans, this man, Mario Andretti, looks as if he's headed for defeat today on the day he said he had the best chance ever in his 20 years to win the Indianapolis 500. I feel incredibly for American so much hope into this, and is coming up short, just a few seconds worth.
The old American hero will lose the race. The new American hero is Daniel John Sullivan III of Louisville, Kentucky, who has won the Indianapolis 500. Mario Andretti finishing second. Roger Penske, the crew chief. Now is the time to celebrate. They didn't budge a muscle until he had crossed the start-finish line, that yard of brick, for the last time.
The
Roger
changing of
Penske
the guard.
winning for the 2nd year in a row.
Yes, changing of the guard that you spoke of earlier, Jim. Now personified the face of this man, Danny Sullivan.
The top 5 then, Danny Sullivan, 2nd Mario Andretti, 3rd Roberto Guerrero of Colombia, 4th Al Unser Sr., 1 lap down, and in 5th place, and quite remarkably, Johnny Rutherford, who came from 30th place, a 3-time winner of the race, to finish 5th. A view of the wide scene, the 400,000 still in place, no traffic on 16th Street right now, but wait for about 10 minutes. Danny Sullivan headed for victory lane at Indianapolis. A moment he has to have dreamed about, thought about, planned for, but I would imagine, Sam, you're never quite ready for it.
Jim, he gave up a promising career in Formula One just 2 years ago to take a chance on IndyCar racing, and this is where that chance led.
And here is the winner, Danny Sullivan. Danny, this race is likely to be remembered for the one remarkable moment with just a little more than 80 laps to go when you spun twice and came out of it. Your frame of mind after that, were you able to completely block that particular moment of danger out?
Well, I looked at it this way, that the sun was shining on me. That if I got away with that and was still in the race and was still in 2nd place, somebody was looking after me. And I figured if we could do that and still come back, we had a good shot at it. And I knew that I could run with just about anybody, and I knew I had to measure on Mario, so We were just looking for to stay out of trouble. And then when that happened at the restart with all those guys down there, and we got through that, I knew we were making it home.
You've worked as a waiter, a chicken farmer. You've done a variety of things to get to this point. Did you have a feeling when you were brought into the Penske operation that you had reached the plateau of comfort in racing?
Well, I figured when I got to the Penske operation, I'd gotten to the top team in motor racing. But I figured also that this was where the work was really cut out for me, because these guys demand a lot from you, expect a lot from you, but in the same token, they give a lot in return. And I knew that if I gave 110%, we'd come up with a result. And the proof's in the pudding. Here we are.
Now, you told Sam Posey during the race that at the time you spun, you thought that the end of the race was near. How could you have been that lost in the lap count?
Well, I just asked Derek out of curiosity how many laps to go. I hadn't looked at the pit board, and I misunderstood him. You know, the radios aren't always that clear. And in my excitement, I thought I better make a go of this. There's only about, 12, 13 laps left, and we were just wrong.
How much of your present satisfaction derives from having won a duel with one of the greatest names in the history of the sport, Mario Andretti?
Well, Mario's always a gentleman and a champion to race against, just like the other 33 guys out there, or 32 guys, and I enjoy it. I love winning them this way. I would have liked to win it by 2 or 3 laps, but I'll take them any way I can get them. This was great.
This is the story of happiness in Winner's Circle.